Welcome to Caribou City Council meeting of July 13th. Public input. Anybody in the audience wish to address the council? Okay, number 2, declaration of conflicts of interest from the city regarding any agenda item.
Yeah, I'll declare number 9.
I have one on number 8.
Oh, okay.
Okay, consider authorizing the minutes of the following meetings. June 22nd, 2015, council meeting. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Consent agenda. Police report for June, fire report for June, fire department reports for 6-month comparison of 214 and 215, June 215 library report, amendment to the Connor plowing contract, and an Islander board appointment.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. The Islander board appointment is
Nelson Catch.
Nelson Catch. Okay. Number 5, ordinance regarding sale of municipal property.
I'll introduce that ordinance. Number 10, regarding the sale of municipal property, but to also include all downtown parking lots.
Seconded.
Do we need a second?
No, just
Oh,
needs to
that's
be
just the
introduced.
introduction. Excuse me.
Just needed introduced?
With that amendment.
Okay. You all set with that, Mr. Blease?
Yep, we'll add in those 3 lots that are not there.
No, that's...
No, there's more than that.
Is there more than 3? Does that include all?
3.
There's 3 lots that haven't been previously authorized to be sold. So the north, the south,
What about the Legion?
Legion. Yep.
And behind, around the theater and behind?
That was authorized for sale with the last ordinance.
Oh, so, okay, so we're good for all of them.
This will be all of them, yep.
Okay. So we're done with that. All right, thank you. Number 6, putting tax-acquired property out to bid. We have a list of 7 or 8 properties.
We've had these properties for a while. Some of them have been out before. LO means land only in the table there. We listed those out for sale back in the winter, and we decided we'd hold the ones that didn't sell until the summer so people could actually get out there and take a look at them. So,
Could you refresh my memory onto how you decide on the minimum?
the first time we do it, we typically go 20 or 25% of the tax assessed value. If they don't sell and they come back again, we lower it accordingly just to try and get them back on the tax rolls.
Questions?
Number 12, isn't that the same amount it's been there? Haven't you put that?
No, it was 17,000.
Oh, it was 17, okay. Is that vacated? Is there anybody?
Not to my knowledge. I
No?
believe there's
Okay.
still somebody there.
Mr. Redana?
119A Katahdin Avenue.
Yes.
That's kind of sort of like surrounded. I realize that we could get, somebody could get an easement or a right-of-way or something of that nature, but wouldn't it behoove us maybe to contact the neighboring abutting property owners that might better serve?
We did that. They didn't seem overly interested.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we did that or not. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anything else? What are the wishes of the council?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Number 7, 23 River Road demolition.
The tax acquired property at 23 River Road was kept by the city to demolish a slum and blight. In accordance with the DEP regulations, we had a site survey done for asbestos. However, given the state of the building, asbestos demolition impact survey cannot be completed. As such, the demolition must be done in accordance with Maine DEP rules. Even though this is a residential home, when it was tax acquired by the city, DEP classifies it as a commercial property. The requirements for demolition are a lot more stringent than if it were to be considered a residential property. We went out for bids on the project based on the scope of work done by CES Engineering. We received one bid of $23,850 from Soderberg Construction. They did note on the bid that if there's friable ACM, that a change order would be needed to be ordered for sampling, analyzing, abatement, packaging, and disposal as per the DEP rules. If the building was in better shape, we would know for sure whether or not there was any friable materials. We did have to do some abatements on the properties on Collins Street last year, and those ones ran between $2,000 to $4,000. So if we run into anything here, that's kind of the ballpark for what we would expect. The bid does not include tippy fees, which would probably be $2,000 to $5,000. We would be billed directly by Tri-Community Landfill. So the cost of the project we paid from the tax acquired property remediation reserves. There's $67,640 in that account right now. Once the project is complete, there is interest in some abutting landowners and possibly purchasing the land. So we would need council approval on this.
As far as spending $25,000 or potentially $30,000 to knock down a house seems like a lot. Could we put it out to bid, see if anybody's interested in buying it, and then they could tear it down, and then we wouldn't have the city expense?
That's an option. I don't think we want to go that route. I don't believe we want to leave that up to a potential buyer to tear it down. We're kind of facing that situation right now with the property that we sold back to an owner that was supposed to have the property demolished by now.
The last person to purchase that house after it had been tax acquired was intent on rehabbing it, and I don't think
beyond
once
that.
they figured out what they really had, that's why it's like it is today. And the only other question I would have is that I realize that when we sell tax acquired property, we are setting money aside for this purpose, but it's almost half of what we put away. That's the only thing.
It's a lot of money. I mean, if the council wanted, we could try and go out for an asbestos survey, try and get something that would go through the house, which I don't know if we can get anybody to go through the house. It's in very rough shape. And we can always go out for bids again on the demolition if we needed to. But the fact that there's the asbestos issue there is the biggest driver in the cost.
Well, there's a lot of risk there.
Yeah, and it's not, it doesn't, I wouldn't want to go in there, to be truthful with you. It doesn't look safe,
No, I would say it's not.
so, okay.
What's the value of the property after it's all cleaned up? 5, 6, 10,000?
I don't know what the tax assessed value would be, but we can look that up for you.
Well, isn't just land with improvements on it 10,000, right? If you've got water and sewer on a piece of buildable property, isn't that 10,000 right there?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. The city can't do that?
Not with the downtown paving project and everything else they've got going right now.
Burn it or anything?
No, with the state of the building, it'd be tough to try and do a training exercise in. Yeah, we looked at all those options, and given this fact that we don't know what's there for asbestos, it'd be difficult to have city staff doing that.
Do you know why they classified that commercial? Just,
That's the way they do it for any tax acquired property across the state. They classify it as commercial because it's owned by a city, it's not owned by a individual.
DEP classifies.
DEP classifies,
DEP, yeah,
right, so we have to
okay.
follow their rules. I've had that conversation with at least our state representative, so maybe we can try and get something changed at some point.
Quick question, what was the scope of work that they bid on?
So the scope of work was demolishing the property, putting and handling any asbestos, filling the holes, loam, seed, getting it back to a decent state.
Anything else?
I know it brought the property values down around, because there was a couple houses, one has never been sold. One was sold for about half of what it was worth. It should,
Did they mention anything, when they say they may need a change order? Did they expand on that at all?
Now that was the extent of the note, if they come upon those things.
You feel comfortable with the range that it cost us for the abatement for the two properties that it may be within that range?
I do, based upon the fact that there's nothing on the outside that's
Right.
visible. Anything would be flooring material. It's residential, there shouldn't be anything on pipes, so.
And didn't we go out to bid on the Collins Street before we actually said, no, we'll have city staff do that? Didn't we go out
We
to
went
bid?
out to bid for the demolition, but the city staff hauled it. We use the public works trucks to haul the debris out to the landfill.
What was the demolition part of that? Do you remember?
The excavator, the cost? You mean?
Yeah, like the total cost, what they provided.
I want to say it was 16,000,
Okay.
but that was for 2 houses.
Yeah. I guess the other thing I would point out too is it's probably not the best time to be going out for bids on projects like this. It's just, you know,
Is it unsafe? I mean, is it secure right now?
No. No, not at all.
If we wanted, we could always not award it, go out for bid later on when it's a little.
Well, like Councilman Google says, I'm sure in November, when all the road construction is done, you might get a cheaper bid or something, but
Right, and the fact that we only had one company bid, and we sent it, or it was in the newspaper, we sent it to a couple others as well. I mean, it seems like they are busy, so.
well, and that type of project isn't just not a, it's not a sought-after project in that industry, so. I mean, I guess in the future, I would say that would probably be something to take into consideration on those, is that contractors are full up right now. You're gonna get a price that's indicative of that, so.
There's interest after it's cleaned up. Is there any interest from those abutting landowners before it's cleaned up?
Imagine.
I doubt it, but question.
I don't think so.
So they don't want to put.
so what are the wishes of the council?
I'll move that we go ahead with the project.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? 4-1. Passes. Fire station repairs.
There's several repairs that need to be done at the fire station. Most important repair that should be done before the winter sets in is replacing the old boiler. This old boiler was supposed to be removed by train back when they did the pellet boiler installs. However, they took out the newer and better boiler and replaced that one with the pellet boiler rather than the old one that doesn't work so well. The estimate we received is to install one G515-11 cast iron boiler, 1.5 million BTU, cost $51,765. That includes the gas piping to the outside boiler room, wall, the installation of 16-inch stainless steel liner in the existing chimney, replacing the existing valves in the boiler room, piping valves, controls as needed, and replacing the unit heater zone control valve in the truck bay. So this is by far the most pressing need. While the pellet boiler has worked better since the auger system was installed, the backup boiler is in rough shape. When the large bay doors are opened for the trucks to enter or exit, we need the second boiler to help bring the temperature back up. The second repair project we should consider is replacing the bay doors and the main entrance doors. These doors are in rough shape. They have a tough time opening given their current state as well. If you've been to the fire station, you've probably seen these. For the main entrance, it would replace the current doors with hollow metal framed doors and new hardware. It would be all the same as the existing doors, except there would be half light on the doors and 2 insulated metal panels at the window units. The cost for this from J.P. Martin and Sons is $12,260. For Portland Glass was $10,474. For the garage bay doors, they were replaced with hollow metal frames and doors and new hardware. Be the same as the existing. Cost from J.P. Martin and Sons is $9,642, and from Portland Glass, $8,218. For both of these projects, we can utilize money in the fire equipment reserve, which is $333,000. That's a typo in the packet. $333,476. We could utilize some TIF funds as well. We've set aside $1 million in TIF funds for fire station improvements over the life of the downtown TIF. The other need that we have for the fire station is to replace the current driveway parking area. The estimate from Trombley Industries is to remove all the existing hot top on the front of the building facing High Street. There be regraded, 3/4 inch crushed gravel will be compacted, any soft areas will be dug down, crushed new grading material will be placed there. Approximately 13,600 square feet will receive 1.5 inches of new base, 12.5 millimeter. Surface coat of 9.5 millimeter replaced and compacted for a total of 1.25 inches. Cost is $33,500. While the parking lot's in pretty rough shape, it's not the most pressing issue. Could be addressed next year. If we do it next year, we'd probably go out for bids with that included in the paving bids with Public Works that we do. But wanted to at least make the council aware that that's going to be on the radar for next year. So we're asking for council approval on the boiler and door projects. The chief can answer any questions.
You said that you had 330-some thousand in reserve. Here I have written 33,000.
Right, that's a very bad typo on my part.
So it is.
Okay.
So it is 300.
$330,000. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. McDonough, or Councilor McDonough brought that to my attention earlier.
Any questions, discussion?
I just,
Go ahead.
I was gonna make a motion if,
Go ahead.
I think I would sign up for item 1 and 2 and reschedule item number 3 for next year. Now, we have to accept the bids too, right?
If we're going to do the project, we should.
Huh?
If we're going to do that project, we should do it.
It's just $300.
There's a 12-week lead time on the boiler.
There's a 12-week lead time on the boiler.
Yeah, I'll do.
That's what it's there for.
Okay, so we'll accept the cost of $51,765 to have the boiler done. For the door projects, looks like Portland Glass was the low bidder on each one, so
Correct.
we'll accept those. And forego the paving till next year. Are there any other parking lots that need to be done? Probably. Or could we look, and then if they do, we incorporate them?
Right.
Thank you.
So was that a motion?
Yeah.
Do I hear a second?
Second, yeah, second.
Okay, motion and second. Councilor McDougal?
Yeah, just a quick question. When we put that project out, did we just ask J.P. Martin and Portland Glass to come in and here's the problem? So are we comparing apples to apples on that? Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No.
Actually-
I just want to make sure that they're both quoting the same thing and.
They are, Mr. Martin, when he did that, he actually had Portland Glass come over himself. He proposed it to them under the same restraints. The difference is Portland Glass is going to use aluminum instead of steel to frame all the doors, so we won't have that same problem again with the rusting and the caving in of the door frames. That was one of the changes. That's why he called them. They work in aluminum.
Thank you.
I'm not clear. Is the cost this plus this, or this or this?
For the doors, you mean?
Yeah, you make it sound like the cost is so much from this company plus so much from this company.
No, it's either or.
Okay.
When the money would come, we haven't determined which fund to take that out of.
Fire, excuse me, out of the reserve.
Okay.
Fire equipment reserve. Sorry.
Anything else? What are the wishes of the council? All those in favor? Unanimous. Airport Engineering Services.
As required by the state, we've gone out for RFQ for engineering services at the airport for the next 5 years. The selected firm would assist us for the next 5 years in the planned projects that we have, which include apron and taxi lane work, hangar development, and the fuel terminal system. We received only one RFQ, and that was from Stantec. Stantec has been providing these services to the city for the past 5 years. They've been great to work with, very responsive, and have made the projects that have been completed over that time period very efficient. Given the history of working well with Stantec, the airport committee is quite comfortable with awarding them a 5-year contract for engineering services. It's recommended the council authorize a 5-year engineering services agreement between the city and Stantec and authorize the city manager to execute any and all documents necessary for such an agreement.
Motion to accept Stantec as the engineering services.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? One abstention? Passed. Other business? Does anyone have other business?
Quick and easy.
Somebody make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Have a nice evening.